Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Hearthstone. Today we are going to be starting to check out the Witchwood expansion. That's right. We have finally finished the Year of the Mammoth and the Year of the Raven is upon us. And with that said, we have a whole mess of packs to open up here that I have been just dying to crack open for the last 2 weeks or so. With that said, let's go ahead and get started with our little mini review and pack opening video right away. Alrighty. Hey, legendary on the first pack. That's nice. We got Emerus. Emerus is an interesting card. Not really amazing here. I don't think this is going to be any kind of auto-include in any hunter deck, but kind of interesting. I wonder if down the road there's going to be a dragon hunter. At the moment, just kind of a neat card and nice to have a legendary right off the bat. Besides that, we've got Duskhaven Hunter, 3 mana, 2/5 stealth. This is kind of an interesting one. I don't think that it's actually worth it because of the stats, although 5/2 for 3 is okay. I think that the 2 health is just too little to make it worthwhile, to be honest, which is a bit of a shame. Then we got Walnut Sprite, 3 mana, 3/3 Echo. Echo cards can be played multiple times per turn within that same turn, but they have the full mana cost. I haven't really seen any Echo cards that really jumped out at me, and Walnut Sprite in particular is not super exciting. Turn 9, you could have 3/3s for 9 mana. It's not that good when you look at stuff like Serenite Chain Gang. Then we got Tanglefur Mystic, 3 mana, neutral. He's a 3/4, and his Battle Cry adds a random 2-cost minion to each player's hand. Not a huge fan of these symmetrical ability cards, stuff that give your opponent an advantage as well. It's not terrible, but it's pretty terrible. I don't think I'll be running something like that. And then Deranged Doctor. Interesting. It's a nice way to have healing in a neutral card, but 8 mana, restore 8 is meh. I don't know. I think it's too expensive and too late game, honestly. We'll see. Alright, pack number 2. What do we got this time? Oh my god, 2 legendaries. Whoa! Guys, we're on pack 2 and we've gotten 3 legendaries. That's pretty stupid. And we got Shutterwalk, which is basically the legendary I wanted the most. I think Shutterwalk, if you've watched any videos analyzing Shutterwalk, you can do some stupid combos with him, especially because if you can copy him, you can basically have infinite synergy with it. Like, it gets really crazy. Trump has a really good video on it if you're curious about it. Then we also got Duskfallen Aviana. Shutterwalk is a 9 mana 6/6. His battle cry is repeat all other battle cries from cards you've played this game. An example of a crazy implementation would be Serenite Chain Gang would give you a copy of Shutterwalk. You can do some really nuts stuff, and I've seen some cool combos with Grumble in particular. Then we've got Duskfallen Aviana. She's a 5 mana 3/7 Druid legendary. On each player's turn, the first card played costs 0. This is what I was talking about with the symmetrical cards. We'll have to see how this shakes out. I'm not sure it's going to be amazing, but it's interesting to be sure. Druid is probably going to have some bigger minions, so maybe you can get more value. Carrion Drake, this is a cool card. I actually like this quite a bit. I don't know if it's the best dragon out there, but it's another hunter dragon, which is kind of cool. I wonder if that's going to be an archetype as more expansions roll out. Not sure we have the full toolkit yet, but at the moment, a 3/7 poisonous for 5 is not the worst thing ever, and that dragon tag is very intriguing. Then we got Cutthroat Buccaneer. Combo, give your weapon 1 attack. I think this is the replacement for Naga Corsair, basically. This is going to be for Kingsbane Rogue, which is a deck that I'm hoping is going to do something soon, but I'm not sure this expansion is going to be the one that puts it over the edge. And then last but not least, we've got Rotten Applebaum, who is a 5 mana 4/5 taunt, Death Rattle, restore 4 health to your hero. This card is awesome for control decks. I think we're going to see it in a lot of decks that need aggro protection mid-game. That was an amazing pack. Super into that pack. Dang, dude, we got a golden epic, and jeez, we are getting so lucky. That's 1600 dust. All right, so Town Crier, really, really cool warrior card. 1 mana, 1/2. Battle Cry draws a rush minion from your deck. There are some really strong rush minions in Warrior, in particular the legendary that they have, which we'll see if we get one. But this could be really awesome. It just depends on if Warrior has enough to finish out the deck after the rush cards. Then we've got Blood Witch, 4 mana, 3/6 Warlock card. At the start of your turn, deal 1 damage to your hero. Probably supposed to synergize with the Spellstone, but honestly, I don't really see this as being that good. 4 mana, 3/6 is pretty okay for stats, but I just don't know if it has a place. There's a lot of good 4 mana cards in Warlock right now. Squashling. This is kind of an interesting one. So he's a 2 mana, 2/1. Battlecry restores 2 health, and then he has Echo. What's cool about it is, you could restore a good amount of health. If you played it on turn 8, you could get 4 little 2/1s and then also restore 8 health, which is pretty awesome. But at the same time, I just don't think that the toughness on the minions is enough to justify it. And 2 health is okay, but I don't know if it's quite enough to make it worthwhile. We got Ghostlight Angler. 2 mana, 2/2 Echo Murloc. I'm assuming this is for the Murloc quest that Shaman has, and to kind of make up for bringing the finishers, which we've lost in the standard rotation. But I don't really know if it's going to be enough. It's cool, but you'd have to be turn 10 to get 5 2/2s, which is fine, I guess, but not incredible. Honestly, I think bringing the finishers was probably better. Then we got Pumpkin. This is a little more flexible, obviously. You could play it turn 2 if you wanted to, but it wouldn't be that good of a play. Pumpkin Peasant, 3 mana, 2/4 Lifesteal. Each turn this is in your hand, swap its attack and health. This is probably the first swap its attack and health card that I'm interested in. I don't know how good it's actually going to be because it's going to have that 2 toughness if you go for the 4 attack. However, Lifesteal is pretty intriguing, especially since Warlock lost a lot of their healing options in the rotation. Pretty good pack. Ooh. What else you got for me? Alright, now a standard pack finally. It's only fair. So Blackwalled Pixie, 3 mana, 3/4 neutral. Battlecry will refresh our hero power. Pretty interesting. Hero power is becoming a thing again, a la Argent Tournament, which is pretty fun. I really like the idea of comboing this with some of the even odd legendaries that we've seen that increase either the damage or increase the power or reduce the cost of your hero power. Could be some interesting synergy, but I don't know. The fact that it's Battlecry refresh your hero power, we'll see. I'm not sure this is going to be the card that makes those decks pop off. Cinderstorm. This card is garbage. It's a really, really bad arcane missiles, basically. For 1 mana, you can deal 3 damage randomly split among all enemies with arcane missiles, or for 3, you can deal 5. That doesn't even scale up well. Like, at best, it should be 9 damage, but obviously that'd be insane. So, I don't know about Cinderstorm. Squashling, we talked about. Witch's Apprentice. So, this is Babbling Book, but for Warlocks. Or excuse me, but for Shaman, obviously, hence Shaman. But what's kind of a bummer about it is, well, twofold. First up, it does have Taunt, which is kind of cool, but it doesn't have any attack, which is a pretty huge drawback. Then on top of that, you're adding a random Shaman spell to your hand, which isn't nearly as good as a random Mage spell. Just keep in mind that the Mage toolkit is really good and flexible. Shaman has a lot of specialist spells, and, if you get like an evolve in a non-evolve deck, it might not actually be all that useful. That might not be the best example, but you get my idea. Then we got Divine Hymn. 2 mana, restore 6 health to all friendly characters. Priest card. Probably not going to see a lot of play as long as Circle of Healing exists. I mean, 0 mana, restore 4 to all characters is very good and can do cool combos. I guess the benefit is this doesn't heal your opponent, but I don't know. I just don't necessarily see 6 healing being healing for that much isn't that good, almost, if it makes sense. You'd have to have quite a few powerful minions out for this to get good value. What do we got next? Let me drink something here real quick. Alright, yet another epic. This time we have Baleful Banker. He's a 2 mana, 2/2 neutral. Oh, we missed a card. He's a 2 mana, 2/2 neutral. His battle cry is choose a friendly minion and shuffle a copy into your deck. This is an interesting card. There is some definite potential for it. I'm gonna have to really see how it plays, but I think this actually could be a very strong contender in certain deck archetypes. Like if you could shuffle a copy of Keleseth into your deck or something like that, well, obviously that wouldn't work. If you could shuffle a copy of some kind of legendary minion with a powerful battle cry, you could get some really good value out of it. Bellringer Sentry is awesome. He's a 4-mana, 3/4 Paladin minion. His Battle Cry and Death Rattle are put a secret from your deck onto the battlefield. And Paladin has a couple new secrets and really just some really strong synergies with the mana cost of secrets and playing them for free. I also like this because, you know, you're on turn 4, you still have a bunch of secrets in your deck. This is going to help pull 2 of them out so that you're not wasting like a turn 7 draw on a 1-mana card. Then we got Ghostly Charger, 5-mana, 3/4 Divine Shield Rush. I think this is cool. It synergizes with some of the other Paladin Rush cards, and also, like, I like the fast damage. The Divine Shield makes it, like, guaranteed to get good value. Mana cost is a little bit high, but I think it's probably worth it. Woodcutter's Axe. This is a warrior card, another one for the Rush toolkit, and a 2-mana weapon for warrior, filling a very important role that you may have noticed was missing as of the loss of Fiery War Axe. So Woodcutter's Axe, it's a 2-mana, 2/2 warrior weapon, and the Death Rattle will give +2/+1 to a random friendly Rush minion. Seems good, fits into the Rush toolkit. I'm curious to see how much play it gets. It should be interesting, because warriors have some cards that are going to buff their durability, but I guess those wouldn't really fit into the deck that runs Woodcutter's Axe. Then we've got Vicious Scalehide. This is a 2-mana, 1/3 Lifesteal Rush. Seems interesting, but I don't think his damage is high enough to make him worthwhile, to be honest. The Rush is cool. You could get some good value out of trades with him, but we'll have to see if he actually sees play. This seems more like the kind of card that I'd like to get when I'm building a beast with Deathstalker Rexar. Add 2 mana to the cost and give him +1/+3 Lifesteal and Rush. That is where I think it'll really shine. Oof, only 71 more packs to go. Jesus. Alright, so this time we have not a very exciting one. We got Swamp Leech, 1-mana, 2/1 Lifesteal Beast. This is another example of a minion that I think is going to fit better into Deathstalker Rexar's Build-A-Beast combo package than it will into any particular decks. We'll see, but 1 toughness is just meh. Chief Inspector, 5-mana, 4/6 neutral. Battlecry destroys all enemy secrets. This actually could be quite strong. The fact that it's directional is good, and I think secrets are going to be seeing some play here, especially with Paladin, and possibly, maybe not as much with Mage, but possibly with Rogue, depending on if the like burglary toolkit ends up becoming popular. Then we have Quartz Elemental, a new elemental for Priest. It's a 5-mana, 5/8, and it can't attack while it's damaged. I can see some really cool potential here. Obviously, it combos well into like a Miracle deck, Elemental deck. It's got good synergy for any deck that has a fair amount of healing or even just good hero power control. But at the same time, the can't attack while cards are a little, or just can't attack in general cards are a little finicky, so we'll see if it actually makes the cut when you have other cards for 5 costs that are competing with it. We got another Walnut Sprite. We've already talked about him. And then Swamp Dragon Egg, the new Dragon Egg. It's a 1-mana, 0/3 neutral. Death Rattle adds a random dragon card to your hand. Or excuse me, a random dragon to your hand. Good-ish? Not really. It's an okay card. It's not the best Dragon Egg we've seen yet, and honestly, I just don't think that these have ever, or are ever really going to quite fit in like they used to, but we'll see. Alright, number 70. Come on, give me something good. Hey, another Rotten Apple Bomb. Love this card. We got 2 Blink Foxes, actually. It's a 3-mana, 3/3 rogue card. Very strong, I think. Battlecry adds a random card to your hand from your opponent's class. It's going to work towards miracle stuff, which is pretty good. But also, it's got good stats, I think. I feel like this is going to be a pretty strong card. It's also a beast, which I don't think really matters from the rogue perspective, but kind of interesting. Then we got Darkmire Moonkin. This card is not very good, I don't think. 7 mana for a 2/8 spell damage +2. Spell damage +2 is definitely interesting, and the fact that it's got 8 toughness means it could stick around a bit longer, but I just think the mana cost is too high. Wing Blast is cool. I like Wing Blast a lot. I think this is going to fit into Spell Hunter. I think this might even get played in mid-range. It's 4 mana Hunter card, deal 4 damage to a minion. If a minion died this turn, it only costs 1. How easy is it to kill off a minion? Even it could be a friendly minion, whatever, like easy. In a Hunter deck, give me a break. I think this is going to see play in quite a few decks, although the 4 mana cost is interesting. It's going to be competing with the shot that was introduced last time that gives you the Wolf, and also with Houndmaster. All right, let's go ahead and continue here. Alright, we got another Witch's Apprentice. Cheap Shot. This is a new rogue card. It is deal 2 damage to a minion, Echo. Echo cards, again, like, I guess this is cool because you can spread it out among multiple minions, but turn 10 you can deal 10 damage. This might be a better Echo card than some of the other ones we've looked at, but I'm not sure about Echo. This is what's cool about this is it could maybe synergize with like Van Cleef or something like that, and be cool there. I really want to see Echo in practice before I make any grand proclamations about it. And another Walnut Sprite. Got another Tangle for Mystic, and now Life Drinker. It's a 4-mana 3/3 neutral. Battlecry deals 3 damage to the enemy hero and restores 3 health to your hero. This is a really good Battlecry. I don't know if this minion is amazing. He seems pretty good to me. But what's awesome about this is it can combo with our Shaman legendary I was talking about earlier, Toggle Wog or whatever it's called, and have him every time you play one trigger this Battlecry, which is awesome. Alrighty. Got some more just standard cards here. Mage, 5 mana, 4/4, Curio Collector. Whenever you draw a card, get +1/+1. Seems like it has some cool potential. Very reminiscent of something like, what is it? The Journeying Adventure or whatever it is. The old neutral card, but starts with a little bit higher stats and has a little higher cost. I've heard that Priest minion decks might be a thing coming up, which is pretty cool, so we'll see. Marsh Drake. It's a neutral, 3 mana, 5/4. Battlecry summons a 2/1 poisonous Drake Slayer for your opponent. This could be really cool in the right deck, I feel like. 3 mana, 5/4, that is pretty awesome. And if you can remove the 2/1 right off the bat, I mean, that's pretty fantastic. I see this maybe getting a fair amount of play. Furious Etten. He's a 7 mana, 5/9 taunt. The stats are pretty great, but the 7 cost is really high for not having any abilities outside of taunt, so probably won't see play, but will be the kind of thing that gets discovered a lot with certain cards that are gonna trigger free stuff like Spiteful type stuff. Then we got, assuming that your spell costs 7, obviously. Then we got Tangle for Mystic, number 3, and Ravencaller. So Ravencaller is a 3 mana 2/1 neutral. His Battlecry is add 2 random 1-cost minions to your hand. That actually seems pretty cool and would synergize with a fair number of decks. In particular, I'm thinking perhaps Evolve Shaman, if it's still going to be a thing. But maybe it's not, actually. I think we lost quite a few of those cards. Hey! That was a pretty good pack. Three rares, one of them golden, and ooh, and Ratcatcher. Awesome. Okay, so we got Phantom Militia. This is a 3 mana 2/4 Echo Taunt. This is another Echo card that I'm just kind of like, Like Serenade Chain Gang is 4 mana for 2/2/3 taunts. So this is 3 mana for a single 2/4 taunt. But you can cast it for 6 mana. You could have a better Serenade Chain Gang. I just don't see it. I'm sorry. I just don't. But maybe I'm missing something big. I very well could be. Then we got Pumpkin Peasant again. Okay. Curse of Weakness. This is an awesome new Warlock card. It's a directional potion of, what is it? Portion of Weakness or whatever. The old Priest card that we played in Big Priest gets comboed with Shadowward Horror a lot. It's pretty cool because you can also echo it, which means you could make some really strong trades. I'm curious to see how much play it actually gets. I'll probably disenchant this copy unless it's included in one of my decks, though, since this is a golden. Then we've got Ratcatcher. So Ratcatcher's a 2/2 rush. His Battlecry is destroy a friendly minion and gain its attack and health. That is really stupid because you can do some really awesome combos with that by attacking with a minion, maybe making a good trade and stealing its attack and health and then attacking again right away with Ratcatcher. Or, I mean, there's all kinds of potential for Ratcatcher. I think he's going to be very strong and fit in quite a few decks. And then we got another Chief Inspector, so we have a playset. Nice. Hey! Warrior Legendary. Alright, so we'll start with the Legendary. It's a 7 mana 3/8 Warrior card. Black Howl Gunspire. It can't attack, but whenever it takes damage, it deals 3 damage to a random enemy. That could be really strong in something like Control Warrior, for sure. Curious to see it actually in play. Doesn't seem like anything that's like an auto-include necessarily, but some definite strength there. These 3 are repeats, and then Duskbat. He's a 3-mana 2/4 Warlock card. If your hero took damage this turn, summon 2 1/1 bats. I could see this having a place in Zoolock, maybe in Handlock, but I think there's potential for this. It's a pretty cool tempo card. Only problem is that you have to have taken damage that turn, which means probably need more than 3 mana. Okay. Just a standard pack here, but we did get a playset of the Witchwood Imp. He's a stealth 1/1 demon with Warlock card, obviously. With Death Rattle, give a random friendly minion +2 health. He seems like he could have potential, but I'm going to be honest. I feel like Blood Imp even is better, maybe, because it's going to last for a while and buff more than 2 health. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on this one. This card is not particularly impressive to me. Hunting Mastiff. It's yet another way for hunters to get a bunch of Mastiffs down. Echo and Rush. So you can basically turn 10, you could play 5 2/1 Echo Rushes, which is pretty okay, I guess. But again, I just don't know about Echo. And another Deranged Doctor, another Phantom Militia. Man, we're getting so many duplicates in, we're like just hitting 10 packs in. Oh my god, another legendary. This is ridiculous. I'm gonna get like every single one. Famous last words. So we got Azalina Soul Thief. It's a 7-mana 3/3. Battlecry, replace your hand with a copy of your opponent's. I don't see this being an amazing card. There's cool potential here. What I could see it being used for is maybe like drawing additional cards, since it replaces your hand with a copy of your opponent's, so you could use it as like a glorified, the Paladin, Divine Favor, something like that. But the 3/3 stats, I'm not so sure about. It's interesting, to be sure. We'll see how it goes. It's a neutral card, though. Blink Fox again, Divine Hymn again. Swift Messenger's a new one. We got 4-mana 2/6 neutral Rush. Each turn this is in your hand, swap its attack and health. Okay. I guess I should mention, sorry I didn't mention it so late in the video, but Rush, the way it works is it can attack minions immediately. It's like Charge, but only against other minions. You can't attack the opponent directly. Alright, this pack has a couple of good new cards. These guys are all repeats. We got Gilnean Royal Guard, 8-mana 3/8 Divine Shield Rush with attack and health that swap. This is probably the first Rush and swap card that I'm really into. I really like this card a lot. I think that there's massive potential. I think 8 mana is a lot, but that Divine Shield Rush combo, like, you could kill the Lich King with that thing, which is pretty awesome. Then again, for 8 mana, you could have a Lich King, so we'll have to really see. I guess it's not a straight trade, though, because it will live because of the Divine Shield. Then we got Black Cat. This card is awesome. This is the card that makes Odd Mage work so well, I think. It's a 3-mana 3/3, so good stats. Spell damage +1, better stats. And then if your deck has has only odd cost cards, draw a card, which drawing also synergizes a bunch with some of the new Mage cards. So solid card. I think you'll see it in a lot of decks. All right. Now we got quite a few new ones, actually. Sound the Bells. So this is a Paladin card. This is an Echo card I've heard has potential, but I'm not so sure about it. 2 mana, give a minion +1/+2, Echo. Cool in Paladin because you can obviously spread it around to a fair number of minions. I've heard people say it would combo well with, Rallying Cry or something like that. Or not Rallying Cry. The one that discovers 3 minions. Something like that, but I just don't know about Echo. I really don't. These are all repeats. Pickpocket. So here's a new rogue burglary kind of card. Add a random card to your hand from your opponent's class. Echo. 2 mana. It's interesting. I could see potential. Depends on if Miracle Rogue is a huge thing. Then we got Felsoul Inquisitor. 4 mana 1/6 demon. It's a neutral, and he's got Lifesteal and Taunt. I don't know about this one. I could see some potential for him. The mana cost seems about right, but the one damage is a little rough for a Lifesteal minion. He's easy enough to buff, though. You're probably not going to see him in a lot of decks, but this isn't a terrible card, I don't think. Hey, another epic. Deadly Arsenal. Warrior. Reveal a weapon from your deck. Deal its attack to all minions. Shh, what? How have I not noticed this card before? That seems crazy good. Reveal a weapon from your deck. Deal its attack to all minions. Shit, that seems really strong. I'm into that. Then we also got Swamp Leech, who we've talked about, Cheap Shot, which we've talked about, Pickpocket, which we've talked about, and Vexcrow, which we have not, and I'm really stoked about. A lot of people are saying this is the best card in the entire set. It's a 4-mana 3/3. He's a beast. He's a mage card, and whenever you cast a spell, summon a random 2-cost minion. I don't know how much more I really need to say. I'll just paint you a quick picture. Like, Arcane Missiles, Primordial Glyph, and let's say Mirror Entity. And now suddenly you have 3 2-cost minions, 2 0/2 taunts, you've dealt 3 random damage, and you discovered another spell which you may or may not be able to play for free to get another random 2-cost minion. There are some crazy combos I can see with Vexcrow. Very excited for this card. Alrighty, what do we got here? Nothing too exciting. We've talked about some of these. Zap. This is a card a lot of people are on the fence about. So it's a 0-mana, deal 2 damage to a minion. Shaman card. Pretty okay. Overload 1. So it basically is 1 mana for 2 damage, but you can pay it forward. Or pay it later, I guess. But basically, I'm not sure that 2 damage is enough to be worth it. But at the same time, it's a 0-mana direct damage spell. So we'll see. Zap is an interesting one. I see Zap mostly being an annoying thing you discover when you get a random shaman spell, but we'll see. Blink Fox we've talked about. Phantom Militia we've talked about. Ravencaller we've also talked about. I said he was pretty good. Some more Disenchant Fuel. We've gotten everything here before except for Witchwood Piper, I think. It's a 4-mana 3/3, neutral. Battlecry is draw the lowest cost minion from your deck. Pretty interesting, actually, if you have the right combo. You wouldn't want to play it with something like Keleseth necessarily, because you wouldn't be able to play him really till turn 4 or 5, depending on if you had coin. But maybe you could have a custom crafted deck with the lowest cost minion being something, like a really good 3-drop or something like that. Then besides that, yeah, all repeats. We're going to get a lot of dust. Hey, we got some more stuff and some new stuff. So Snap Freeze. This is the new version of Ice Lance. It's like twice as good. But it's still Freeze. And Freeze is becoming less and less popular, it seems. Maybe it'll come back with this expansion, but with the loss of Ice Block, I feel like a lot of the potential has been taken away. We'll have to see. Chief Inspector we've talked about. Furious Etten, we've talked about. And then Whispering Woods. This is a very cool new Druid card. So it's a 4-mana and summons a 1/1 Wisp for each card in your hand. So if you played this with 10 cards in your hand, you would get 9 or 10 1/1 Wisps. Obviously only 7 could go down. This could be really strong in a lot of tempo plays. It's kind of reminiscent of something like converting your mana into Treants, except this time you can follow up with some really strong board-wide buffs to make those Wisps a lot harder to deal with. Pretty excited about that. Alrighty, almost all repeats here. Unpowered Steambot is a new guy. He's a 4-mana 0/9 mech. Hey, haven't seen a mech in quite a while. And he has Taunt. 0/9 is interesting. I don't think this card is going to necessarily see play, but, it's nice to see a mech every once in a while. Kind of cool Iron Giant-y art. Then, besides that, we got Forest Guide, who's new. 4-mana, 1/6, Druid card. At the end of your turn, both players draw a card. Synergy. I don't really like it. Or, Symmetry. I don't really like it. Also 1/6. Nothing exciting here. I think these are all repeats. We talked about Swift Messenger, I believe. Maybe I'm more okay with Swift Messenger. 6 is a lot of damage. I don't know. Then we got Lost Spirit. That's a new one. So he's a 2-mana 1/1 neutral. Death Rattle gives all minions +1 attack. Seems okay. I can see potential for it. Probably not the best card ever, but considering we lost a lot of the Buffeted-in style cards from Mean Streets of Gadgets on. This should help fill that role a little bit. All right, guys, and I'm just cutting in here to say we are going to take a quick break. We are already half an hour in, and I would like to cut this into 2 videos just because 1 hour long video is a bit extreme. So if you want to see me open the rest of the packs here, just tune in tomorrow and you'll see the close as well as our disenchanting and a little bit more discussion about what we missed out on.